Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel for another live show as we review our latest game of the weekend, of course, against Lincoln, which finished in a 2-2 draw. So we're going to get stuck into all the key points, how the game happened, share our thoughts, reactions, all that good stuff. And there is a lot to say about this game, of course, especially in the second half, where there were a lot of talking points. But I hope you're all doing well. I hope you've had a good Monday. And we're going to get stuck into it very soon. But let's say a few of those first before we do. Joshua's in Stevie Ryan. Hope you've had a great day and hope you're well. Big up to you, Joshua. How are you doing? And Blue Terrace is very good comeback against 12 men. I mean, it really was, wasn't it? I mean, enough said about we will get into it, don't you worry. But we did well to come back when we were up against it, as you said. And Aiden's in his time out. You're okay. Big up to you, Aiden. How are you doing today? Welcome in. And he says, make sure to smash the like and subscribe to you. Yeah, big up. Yeah, please do drop a thumbs up if you can, and subscribe if you are new here around here. Does mean a lot to me. You all know this, guys. But hope you're doing well, everybody in the chat. Thank you for saying a few hellos to me. But let's get stuck into the match then. Obviously, the team news when it came out, wrong thing, and I'm just gonna change my layout to down here as I discuss the lineups. Obviously, team news was an interesting one, wasn't it? Really, obviously, Tom Lees missed out through an illness. Pearson, Hellick and Longbank were our back three. Obviously, Chapman goal as usual. Marshall was on the bench, which I was surprised about. I think that because of the nature of his injury, that blow to the chest he had, I didn't think it would have been an injury that would stop him from starting this game, despite him being out for a week or so. So I didn't think it would be that much of an impact, but he did. Sorensen got minutes under his belt midweek, but he's on the bench. He was on the bench. Now, but let's go for the full line. And obviously, Jacob Chapman in goal. Like I said, back three of Pearson, Hellick, and Longbank. And obviously, the wing backs guys, Ruffles and Turton. I wasn't happy to see Ruffles start the game, from being honest. Because, like I said, go back to it. In those wing-back areas, you're a big part of the team, and you need to be on it. And for me, he's found wanting far too many times, Ruffles, and we saw it again in the game. Is he just a liability for me? He's clearly not good enough. I did think Duff got the starting 11 wrong here. I'm not going to lie. I think Turton and Ruffles as wing-backs is far too defensive. They're both defensive-minded players. So how is that going to work? I would have put Koroma on the as a wing back, and I would have put Ruffles on the bench. I think he got it wrong, and it did lead to us not having any sort of forward out ball. And Koroma again, struggling up top. He's not a striker, guys. Yes, he's scored goals, but he's not a striker. So I wasn't particularly happy with the lineup, if I'm being honest with you overall. To be fair, apart from Ruffles starting, I probably will have been happy with it. And Marshall not starting, I wasn't happy with that. So that's the only two players I would have liked to have seen started. Let me know what you think. Obviously, Bojan completely missed out. What do you guys think about this? Obviously, being given so many opportunities, hasn't he? And he's done nothing when on the field. he was clearly dropped altogether. No injury or anything reported before, so clearly Duff has come to his senses very quickly with Bojan. I don't think Duff can. I just think Duff can no longer justify giving him both starts and minutes when he's been so under par. That's the reality. And I did see a stat actually about this where Bojan is actually averaging 1 goal for every 863 minutes played this season. That is incredible. That's incredible, but not in a positive way, let me tell you. Now, it could have been rotation, but to miss out completely could be a sign that Duff has seen enough of Bojan now, because he has given him plenty of time, plenty of opportunities, and he's not taken any of it, and he's not done anywhere near enough of what Duff expects. So he's out of the team. So let's see how that develops over the coming weeks, maybe. Let's see what happens there. But I don't know why, but my iPad has gone very weird with the. I can see the comments, but I can't see the top of the screen now for some reason. Anyways, Ian says, how cool was that first half? Oh, yeah, I mean, it was dreadful. We're going to get into it in a moment. Turton and Ruffles both defensive minded and both lack pace. Yeah, exactly. I don't mind Turton starting, but we need somebody on that other wing that's going to be more attack-minded and has a bit of pace about them. So I agree. Thought Headley looked all right when he came on. I have to disagree. It's clearly nowhere near the level that we need, unfortunately. And that's not because I don't. That's not because I have an agenda on Headley or anything, but I just think he's got no composure on the ball. You know, keeps on the ball too long sometimes. You know, loose touches, heavy touches, and things like that, and just doesn't seem in control when he's got the ball. I don't feel comfortable when he's on the ball, and plus gets far too easily bypassed as well when he's on. Defensively, he's just all over the place. Can I just mention, I think Ward has looked quite good these past few weeks. Yes, he hasn't got, but he's definitely put the effort in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, look, I've said that in previous weeks about Ward. He always puts in effort, doesn't he? But for me, and we're going to get into it, for me, Ward was awful in this game. Didn't impact the game whatsoever. And yeah. So I think with Ward, you never know what you're going to get with him. You can have a good, okay performance, but then you can have an absolute nightmare of performance the next game. There's no consistency for me. Yes, he'll always put a shift in, but we need quality as well. We need him to get involved in a match as well. But look, that is what I have to say there. But look, let's have a look at the first half then. Obviously, I felt like we started the game quite slowly, to be honest with you. You know, there were no clear-cut chances for either team in the opening 10 minutes, but I felt like Lincoln were just starting better than us. There was a good pace to it. Now I think possession-wise, it was pretty even in the opening exchanges. Maybe we might have just edged it a little bit, but we weren't doing much with it. And of course, conceding in the 15th minute was not the start that we wanted. It was a nicely worked goal for the visitors. For a lovely weighted ball into the box. He's obviously smashed home by House. Yeah, that is his name, House. But I thought it was poor defending, though. I know it's easy for me to say that, but I thought it was quite poor defending. How many times, guys, do we allow the ball into the penalty area? It's just so easy. And then sometimes the defence, if I'm wanting, just stood there ball watching. You've got to make it difficult, and I just think it was a poor goal to concede from our point of view. But yeah, it was a good move for Lincoln. And then 10 minutes after that, they doubled their lead with an attack of theirs coming down our right-hand side. So they work it well before it falls to Cadamartri, who I thought was brilliant, by the way. I thought it was. We mentioned him before the game, didn't we? Now our preview show, and he showed what he's about in this game. You know, he really was on it, and he looked quick, full of pace, skill, composure, and knows where the back of the net is as well. That physicality. And to say that, if you believe reports, we turned down Cadamarteri in the summer when we were linked with him, if you remember. There was reports saying that we did, or should I say, a certain particular person in the boardroom shouldn't be in there. But yeah, I thought it was good, obviously. But anyway, it was a bit unfortunate though. Obviously, it fell to Cadamarteri, whose shot is blocked by Longby, but ricochets in and past Chapman. I think Longby, for me though, just a quick point, I think Longby had a very poor game out there in the opening half hour. Being very sloppy on the ball, especially. I know a lot of the players were, to be fair. Keeps getting caught in possession. Looks to be lacking that confidence as well. The ball at his feet sometimes, I've noticed. But yeah, not great. And I think Lincoln did well, really getting after us, and obviously looked dangerous in transitions whilst making us work hard without the ball. Now, Pearson had to go off, didn't he, as he wasn't feeling very well, and he was replaced by Spencer. Now, Pearson, again, was another one that was poor, but he wasn't the only one. In fact, I think apart from maybe Kasumu, we've been poor across the entire field, front to back, if we're being brutally honest. Now, Duff has said on multiple occasions that we are only as good as our wing-backs. And I go back to it. Today is the first time where I felt like the other day, it felt like it was the first time where we seem to be massively missing both Miller and Sorensen. As we have no threat down the wings at all, do we? And when you rely on your wing-backs for the system to work fully, properly, and you've got two defensively minded wing-backs, it's not going to work. You could argue that Ruffles and Turton are actually full-backs. They're not wing-backs. So this is why I'm saying we don't necessarily have the personnel, unless Sorensen and Miller are fit, to actually play this system, this formation. So that's what annoys me a little bit, to be honest with you, with this formation, because we don't have the players for it at the moment. And I think Ruffles and Turton were both so poor in that first half. Now, obviously, it was half time. We'll get to your comments in a moment. A lot of boos ringing around the ground at the interval. No surprise, because it was an absolute shambles of a half by us. We've been really poor, and we deserve to be behind. And it was a big drop off from what we've seen in recent performances as well, wasn't it? A massive, massive drop off. Now, we created nothing in that first half, attacking wise. Lincoln comfortably dealing with anything from us when we did go forward. I think so many wayward passes in that first half, a severe lack of movement, very slow pedestrian build-up. And yeah, it was just a massive slump from what we've seen. And I think it's probably one of the worst halves I've seen under Duff, personally, for me. And I go back to it. I blame the starting 11 because I don't think the starting 11 was correct. Credit to Duff because he did correct it at half-time with some good substitutions. But I think he got the starting lineup wrong and it cost us. Because, yes, the second half was a lot better, but we can't afford to be playing like that for a full half. It's not good enough. And like I said, going into that second half, I did sense that a big half of football was needed to get back into the game, which obviously we did see. Let's have a look. By the way, how poor was the stewards? When Lincoln scored their first goal, the amount of fans got past the stewards in unacceptable. The agent says, yeah, I saw that. I looked across and I thought, yeah. To be fair, though, the stewards are so weak in this country, aren't they? They've always been weak down at John Smith's, haven't they, really? And anywhere, really, in this country, the stewarding is awful. So, yeah, it doesn't ever surprise me. Because just think how easy it is to get on the football pitch. How easy it is to just run on. It's just easy, isn't it? It shouldn't be that easy to get on the field like that. It should be marshalled. So, yeah, no, it was poor. And poor behaviour by the Lincoln fans in the first place anyway, so that wasn't acceptable too. Danny Cadamartri is confirmed the next week. Did turn his son down in the summer. Yeah, I think it's just absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? That I just think to myself, wow, how we could have done with him in our side this season. Because, like I said, yes, he's only 19, so he's got a lot of potential. He's got a lot of room to grow. But I think what you see of him is a very exciting player, a player that has quality to finish chances as well when he gets them. And I think he's got a very good game at his age. He's not even past his teenage years yet. But yeah, no, I think it's unbelievable how we turned him down and then got the players that we did in, the strikers that we did in. Anyway, like I said, there was a double change at half time. Obviously, Sorensen came on and Marshall came on, and Turton came off and Ruffles came off. So it wasn't surprising, wasn't it really? Obviously, Karoma then went out to the wing, and Marshall obviously went up top. So a bit of a reshuffle. And we came out the second half. We came out fighting, and whatever was said at half time clearly worked. And I thought that the substitution was positive, and that's what allowed us to get back in the game. Look, again, Karoma, if you put him on the wing, he'll do stuff for you. He's not a striker. I want to see him on the wing. Like, that is it, right? And obviously he has to be a wing back area. But I don't mind that, guys. I don't mind that because, yes, Karoma won't come back, but you just have you have Turton just dropping back, so it's a back four. A back four's fine for me. We don't need to be a back five. So Karoma could just stay high. So it's a different role that he's playing on that side with the wing back. Obviously, the wing back's usually expected to get back as well. But I think Karoma should just stay higher. And obviously, he will come back sometimes, but more often not, just stay high. And then Turton can just drop back into a back four when we're defending. So I don't see a problem with that. But look, Karoma involved in the goal when he's put on the wing, down the left-hand side, driving to the byline, before clipping in a lovely way a dunked cross. Spencer rises and nods it home. And it was a really nice moment for Spencer to get that goal. And I thought he took it well, didn't he? And yeah, we were back in it. It was game on at that point, of course. And I think it's what we needed, didn't we, guys? Because I think obviously, I've lost my track of thought now. Anyways, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, your game was what we needed. We needed a goal early on in that first half, in that second half, because then it really set the ball in motion, if you could say so, and gives us a bit of confidence. Now, so the game then started to open up for both sides. Lincoln obviously looking for that killer goal, whilst we looked for that equaliser. Marshall did very well when he came on, was a nuisance up top. Karoma looked dangerous down the left wing. Yeah, surprise, surprise, put him in the position that he likes to play in his best at, and you get the results. Sorensen, obviously, as well, drive us forward at every opportunity, which was good. And it was much better from us, mind you. We couldn't got any worse from the first half. Now, there was a big talking point in this second half. And it was a Stonewall penalty that was denied to us. Now, I can't believe he hasn't given this penalty, by the way, the referee. And by the way, the referee and the linesman, on my side especially, because I didn't see the other linesman didn't seem that much better, but the linesman out my side and the referee, absolutely disgraceful showing once again. But how he didn't give this penalty, I'll never know. But Wiles touched it around the defender with a lovely touch, and he gets dragged down from behind. It's clear. It's a clear. And the linesman was looking straight at it, and he just stood there. And the referee obviously may have had a blocked view, so he was looking over to the linesman, and the linesman just stood there. What? You might as well not have been there. But the referee was also in a perfect position to see all that, having looked at it. But I was just saying the linesman should also be doing his job if the referee is blocked. Like I said, there were huge appeals, but it was waved away. And this was a big point. This was a big moment, because if we would have scored that, if we would have got that penalty and scored, I believe we would have gone on to win that game. I do. I think we were going to win. I think we would have gone on to win that game because, obviously it did take us a while after that to score, obviously, and then what happened in injury time and things. So yeah, I couldn't believe it. We might have to change things around on Friday with Longback being suspended. Or is he suspended now, Blue Terrier? Oh my. Yeah, you're right, because he was one of the players. I remember reading something before the game. He was one of the players at risk. If he got booked, he'd be suspended. Oh dear. Well, that's not good, is it? Yeah, well, we'll have to do a reshuffle then, won't we? On Friday. I don't think you'll ever see a clear penalty. I know, you won't ever see a clearer penalty. But of course, if you have blue and white stripes and you're Huddersfield Town, you don't get those decisions, of course. You know what we'll get, don't you? Yeah, you know what we'll get. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry. You can shove your apology where the sun don't shine. Get the decisions right and get people that can actually do a job in the middle and as the linesman as well. Because I think the officials, the standard of officiating is absolutely shocking. It is shocking. It is so bad. It must be so easy to become a referee and a linesman, That's what it looks like. I've not really looked into it, but it must be so easy. Because you just judge the referee how he's performing. How have you got in that position to be in the middle there and doing that job that you're clearly completely incompetent to do? It just beggars belief. The ref had a clear view and was about to give it, but then looked at his line and didn't have a clue. Yeah, to be fair, I didn't realise he had a clear view, to be fair, but just a shocking decision, wasn't it? Now, there was a worrying moment. Obviously, Sorensen went down untouched and received treatment on the field. You always think it's a kind of a, what's the word? It's a bit of a bad injury when they just go down when they haven't been tackled or anything. And Sorensen had to go off, which isn't good news. And I know Duff did confirm it was a hamstring injury, so we're talking about another few weeks on the sideline. Depends on the severity of the hamstring injury, of course. But I'm just tired of this injury after injury after injury after injury. Sorensen's just come back, for goodness sakes, and he's back out again. We just don't have a break, do we? And Headley came on to replace Sorensen. Like I said, I think Danny Moore were very poor today. The other day, sorry, hasn't been in the game at all, and he was replaced by my favourite, Freddie Ladapo, my favourite. Such an exciting substitution, guys, wasn't it? Not. Anyways, moving on. We did finally get the equaliser, which I have to say we deserved from that second half showing. Callum Marshall, brilliant to see him get the goal. Brings it down and sits a defender in the box down before smashing it home. And it was a brilliant goal, brilliant finish. And you could see how much it meant to Marshall as well. And I thought it was a lovely celebration. In fact, I've got Marshall on my thumbnail tonight. So, I'm a big fan of Marshall. Anybody that knows me, everyone knows that I love Marshall. I think he's a brilliant player. He might have a few spells where he's not doing much, but he still works and he still tries to do things. We've had a few little dicey spells with him, haven't we, where he's not been doing much in games, but then he's back on it now again. So that's what you get with young players, though. They'll have some good form. They'll maybe get a goal and they'll help with confidence, and then they might slow down a little bit, and then they come back up again. So it's just about. It's not unusual. He's still learning. He's still new to senior football, as I said before. He hasn't had much senior football experience, so the intensity and the the level that he's playing at is different to what he's used to. So he's doing brilliant, and I really like him. He's a great lad, and I'm really happy that we got him in, to be fair. Even though he's a loan. Mind you, they say never fall in love with loan players. And I think I've already fallen in love with Marshall, unfortunately, which isn't great, is it? Well, it is, because let's just enjoy him whilst he's here. But when we have to give him back to West Ham, that'll be a sad moment. But we've got him for a long time yet, so let's not think about that yet. Ian says, "Hey, Freddie, I want to know when you will score a goal." Oh, I mean, how about getting in the scoring position to start with, and then let's start from the very bottom here, because he doesn't even seem to get any kind of when he does get half opportunities, he squanders them, but he doesn't ever get in enough positions to actually allow him to score goals. Just seems to be completely lost out there. But yeah, it was a huge goal. Obviously, 8 minutes added on in the second half, end of the game. Now, we were pushing for that goal. What we really did he really did push that goal, that equaliser. I thought we were going to go on and get the winning. I just had a feeling, because it felt really like we were really pushing for it then at that point. Obviously, we had the momentum, and but yeah, we just couldn't do it. But there was a big talking point in the injury time, in injury time, wasn't there? With in a situation with Hellick and the number 4 for Lincoln in the penalty area. It was the free kick that Lincoln had in a good area where they could just whip it into the box, left hand side of the left hand side of the goal, and Hellick was clearly elbowed. Now, I can't believe, again, how the referees missed this. I really can't. Because he had a clear view of it. The linesman as well on that side should have seen it, because it was pretty evident that he shouldn't be able to see it. And then there was a report. Well, it's not a report. I've seen the video. And then afterwards, when Hellick was on the floor, he got spat at by the number 4. How disgusting and how ridiculous can you get? You do not see that part of this game whatsoever. It is necessary, and I'm sorry how the referee and officials have missed that. It's an absolute disgrace. But again, don't worry, guys. We'll get an apology, and then that's all right, then, isn't it? Absolutely not. Like I said, the referee and the linesman were an absolute joke. A definite penalty denied by us, and then at the end, a red card for the guy that elbowed Hellick. But are we really surprised, guys? No, because I'm not. As the referees are getting worse from top to bottom, and they don't have to justify any of their mistakes that they make. They're so overprotected. It's untrue. But they've just cost us. Denied us a penalty when it was a clear penalty. Never seen a clearer penalty in my life. And then a clear elbow in the penalty area on Hellick. And then the aftermath of that where he got spat at in the face, which I thought it is absolutely sickening to see that kind of behaviour on the field. So the FA, PGMO, MLO, are you going to ban this guy, or are you just going to ignore it? So are you just going to ignore it, or are you going to continue to be incompetent and let the referee get away with it? The player who elbowed Hellick wasn't the same player we spat on him, so that should have been 2 red cards. Well, what I thought it was the same player. Right, fair enough. But obviously, full time, he did finish 2-2. I think it was a massive improvement performance-wise in the second half. Not that it could have got any worse, but still, we did show a reaction in the second half. I thought the substitutions were positive, as I said, at the start of the second half. And it helped us rescue a point. Goals, obviously, from Spencer and Marshall to ensure we keep adding points on the board. We can't win every game, but of course, I was a bit mixed emotions on the game because I thought that we really need to be trying to win out every home game, but we're not going to win every game, of course, but you still want to go, I think it's the manner of the way maybe we lost this. Because yes, the second half was better, but I look back to the first half and how you can't afford to play like that. It's unacceptable, isn't it, to play as bad as we did in the first half. So I looked at that first half really where we really let the game get away from us. Because even if we would have been 1-0 behind at half time, at least, the game would still have been in touching distance. But the fact that we conceded twice in a matter of 10 minutes and didn't stay in the game, that's what cost us. Obviously, we're remaining fourth spot, no change there. So yeah, we're remaining fourth in the league. I thought Kasumu was out. I thought that Kasumu was brilliant. He was my man of the match. I think he was really good. And where everyone else was having a shocker, he was the standout. And I think if we had 11 Kasumus on the pitch, we would really be doing some good stuff, wouldn't we? Some even better stuff. Because he's just brilliant, isn't he? Obviously, our impressive home form is maintained still, of course, with that draw. 8 played, 7 wins, 1 draw, and no losses. Like I said, I do criticise Duff for the starting lineup because I think the balance wasn't right. But in the second half, like I said, he got the changes spot on at half time. Sorensen and Kroos were far more effective out wide, and he really did push Lincoln back, and we had far more going forward then. I think it was a good point in the end. Of course, I want to win every game. I wanted to win. I was a bit gutted that we didn't win the game, of course, but I do think we could have won. I think we could have won the game, and maybe we would have won the game had we have maybe got the decisions that we deserved, guys, in the penalty decision. And I think hopefully a lesson learned for Duff personnel-wise as well. Everyone makes mistakes, managers and players alike. So, but it's how you learn from it, of course. So yeah, and I'm not going to go on hard on Duff because Duff is doing brilliant since he's come in. He's got us playing some good stuff. He's really changed the mentality slowly but surely. Not fully yet, but he's started to change that process, that pattern now. And we are looking a bit more the mentality seems to be a little bit better than what we've seen in the past. And that's obviously Duff has done well. So and like I said, the results have been good. Yes, okay, we had a barren spell at the start of the season and that wasn't great. But we've come through that now, and now we're on a fantastic run of form. Obviously we started the season well, then we had a slump, and then we're back on it again now, where we're playing some, really doing well. So yeah, so Duff is doing well, especially when we haven't got. Well, Marshall's an out-and-out striker, but apart from him, we haven't got any out-and-out strikers at the club that are, that I really think that I really like, that I think are good enough. Again, though, I think clearly to see we are desperate for some quality up front, though. I think it's obvious, isn't it, now? And obviously, Kevin's comments, it sounds from Kevin's comments that we have someone lined up early in January, which is great to hear. But let's see if that word has followed through with some action. But not just anybody that can come through the door. Somebody that is going to improve the squad and upgrade us. Not just anybody anyone that you pick out of a hat. It's got to be the right type of profile striker that we need. And I think if we get any improvements there and players returning from injury, they'll be vital if we want to really mount an automatic promotion challenge. Because obviously we're still in it, but obviously we just need to keep we just need to do those things that add improvements and obviously players return from injury as well. Now, the player ratings I'm going to get into for this match, guys. So if you want to let me know your ratings, you're more than welcome to. If not, I will go through mine. But let's go up to SofaScore. I think SofaScore's ratings, by the way, were very generous. Anyways, we're just gonna kind of. Oh, you can't see me now. That defeats the object. In fact, let's put me up there so you can see me, and then we go through our ratings. And in fact, you can't actually see. You can't really see. Anyway, guys, we're just gonna do it like this. So for me, Jacob Chapman in goal didn't have a huge amount to do, did he really? Especially after the break, and had no chance with the goals to be conceded. So for me, I think I give Chapman a 6. Next up, Matty Pearson. Obviously, part of an unchanged back three from midweek with Tom Lees out ill. Picked up where he left up against Bolton with an uncharacteristically rushed and nervy-looking performance, in my opinion. Picked up a knock. He picked up a knock to the head, but then I think he was actually ill in the end. I thought he'd gone off injured with a knock to the head, but it actually turned out to be an injury, and he wasn't feeling very well, which forced him to go off. So for me, I give Matty Pearson a 4. Hellick, I think he was decent enough for a lot of our defensive issues in the first half, either coming ahead of or either side of him. I'm going to give him a 6. Nigel Longvike, unfortunately, had a very poor game, like I said earlier. I'm going to give him a 4. I think he was unfortunate his attempt to block Kadamatri's shot deflected into net. Instead, Lincoln doubled their lead, but generally lacked concentration, didn't he, at some key moments on and off the ball. And obviously, he'll miss the trip to Kane being suspended, as Blue Terrier said. But yeah, not the best of days for Longvike anyway. Turton, I think, was very poor from what we've seen of him. I think for me, I'm going to give him a 4. He did start well, but did lose Ben House's run to the back post as Lincoln took the lead. Had a lot of space down his side as the visitors got into double their lead. Had moments where he looked bright, sharp, and quite mobile, but also took a few heavy touches at the end of those moments to really ruin, to really it just kind of ruined it for him a little bit doing that. But yeah, not the best. So for me, Turton a 4. Ben Wiles, for me, obviously he was back in a more box-to-box role after a long spell at number 10. Really poor in the first half, better after the break. Obviously should have earned us a penalty, which was clear, Stonewall, like we said. Clearly shoved to the floor. Finished the game well. I'm going to give him a 5. I don't think he was that good, to be honest with you. Overall, and I have to factor in the first half performance as well from him. Wasn't great. Next up, David Kasumu. Obviously, the lone holding midfielder in possession with Kane and Wiles playing as a pair of 8s either side of him. Usual Kasumu stuff, really, what we saw from him. Didn't we? Won his challenges well and drove the ball forward too. For me, I'm going to give him a 7, and he's my man of the match. Herbie Kane was part of some good moves in the very early game, but struggled with the box-to-box role he's given against a very quick counter-attacking Lincoln side. Still unsurprisingly looked like the town midfielder most likely to make something happen after the break. So it was, for me, I give him a 6. Josh Ruffles got his first start for over 14 months, and I thought he was very poor and didn't was getting beat far too easily, losing his runners, not doing his job correctly, and like I said, he doesn't go forward ever, and that's what you're going to do as a wing back. I think he had a shocker really. For me, I give him a 4. Danny Ward, pretty anomalous outing for Danny Ward, particularly after Lincoln went 2 goals up. And then they were able to just put everyone back in defence to squeeze the space around the box. Dropped off slightly behind Marshall alongside Wild after the break in a bid to combat that, but still very quiet. So for me, I give him a 4. Not great. Josh Koroma, I'm going to give Josh Koroma a 6. I think, like I said, the first half he was very poor, but the second half a lot better. Got the assist, yeah, like I said, that switch at half time really helped Koroma impact the game as we know he can, and that's his best position. And like I say, looked a lot better there, brighter, and yeah, very good. Played a key role in the comeback in that second half. For me, I give him a 6.5. Substitutions, obviously Pearson came off of Spencer, so Spencer gets an 8. A direct swap taken over at centre back and going to the box to score his first senior goal for us. Yeah, it was his first senior goal after half time, and looked an improvement on Pearson. Ended the game at right back and set up Callum Marshall's late equaliser too. Let's not forget. So yeah, I thought it was brilliant, Brody Spencer. Sorensen came on to face his former club, caused problems up the right wing, but went down again and had to go off, as we know. So for me, give him a 6. Hopefully it's not too serious. Callum Marshall came on to partner Ward and finished on the right wing. Never really looked to be in the game, and yet came up with the goods to make it 2-2. Kept his composure. To put an unstoppable finish through the goalkeeper. But I thought Marshall did well when he came on, and I thought he made an impact. A lot more movement from him, and did do a lot. He does a lot of work, gets a few tackles in as well, and yeah, he's just a brilliant player to watch. Really, really exciting. Headley came on. Like I said, not the best. Did look a little bit. Did get into the opposition box a few times, but in as many minutes, but just didn't provide that end product. And then he nearly gave Lincoln a chance to get in on goal and kill the game off late on, before Kasumu bailed him out, as he always does. Kasumu has to bail out a lot of his teammates, it seems, in this team. For me, I'm going to give him a 4. And Freddie Ladapo came on, played up top, and yeah, didn't do anything for me at all. Very, very poor. So for me, I give him a 4. So that is my ratings for the game. But guys, if you have any questions or anything else you want to add, feel free to get it in the chat. And yeah, but we are going to wrap up in a moment. I was going to go through some of Duff's comments after the game. But I don't know. But I don't think we will do this evening. So yeah, guys, I think we are going to wrap up the show this evening. Thank you everybody for your contributions and for tuning in. Like I said, it was a decent point in the end, especially coming back from 2-0 down. We did show reaction in the second half. Still would have liked to have won the game, but it is what it is. And at least we did get a point. from that position we're in. And we go on to the next one. We'll play Cambridge on Friday night. There will be a preview to that as always, guys, on Thursday night. It's looking like from 6 o'clock. I'll do a preview on 6 o'clock on Thursday night for the game as we play on Friday night this week. I'm not sure why though, because when I checked, it's not on television. So I don't know why it's on Friday night. But not too sure. But it is what it is. But yeah, guys, have a good rest of the evening, whatever you get up to. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. And we'll be back on Thursday for the match preview to our game against Cambridge, our next game. And then the final game before Christmas. And then we might do a video in between. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see how this week shapes. I probably won't, to be fair. We'll probably be back on Thursday for the next bit of content. But guys, have a good evening. Get a good rest of the evening. And as always, up the town. Michael Duff's Barney. Take care, guys, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Good night.